Morning, everyone. Mr. G here. Right now, we're going to be looking at TCI Science, Unit 2, Lesson 4, Part 4. Here we go. Today, we're really focusing on how industry affects the Earth's systems. And industry, ladies and gentlemen, would be things like factories making a car or um, a bunch of things being shipped across the country to be sold in a store, things like that. It's all part of industry. The text is going to explain it a little bit better as well. Okay, here we go. Part 4, Section 3, I guess. Industry affects Earth's systems. Humans have built factories to produce the many things they need. Plants and animals lose their homes when factories are built. Earth's systems are also affected in other ways. Industries affect the hydrosphere. For a long time, engineers have found different ways to change the way a river flows to help industries. They have straightened a river, made it deeper, or backed it with a dam. People might dig out a river to make it straighter and deeper. Large ships can navigate a straight, deep river more easily than a shallow, curved river. Okay, so it helps move boats in and out. Making a river deeper can also prevent flooding. Building a dam produces water power that is used to make needed electricity. Humans also straighten rivers so roads, houses, and factories can be more easily built. But changing a river causes problems. River water flows faster when curves are straightened. This increases erosion. Remember that erosion when the water pulls little tiny pieces away and eventually can wear like a whole side of a river down. Removing plants from a riverbank also increases erosion. It also affects the animals that live in and near the river. When dams are built, the environment changes. So does the wildlife. Engineers are beginning to remove some dams that are no longer needed. The rivers will slowly recover. Nuclear power plants produce electricity. They also produce toxic waste and a lot of heat. The plants are usually built near a body of water, such as a river or ocean, so engineers can use its water to get rid of the heat. Okay, so nuclear energy, that's kind of hard to explain, but basically they have these kinds of materials that are found in the earth. They're kind of wacky, and if you touch them, they can make you sick, or kind of mess up your cells in your body. But they also can heat water, which then can turn into steam, which then can create electricity. So having a nuclear power plant near water is really important. Sorry, it's kind of what's on the subject? This causes the body of water to warm up, killing fish and other animals. Warming up water can be a form of water pollution. Okay, you didn't really think about that, but heating water to where it's not supposed to be can be pollution. Industries also pollute water when they pour toxic chemicals into a body of water. That seems like pretty much more obvious, right? The picture here looks kind of gross. It says industries sometimes release chemicals and other wastes into rivers. Ugh. The materials pollute the water and harm fish that live there. Yikes. All right. Industries affect the atmosphere. Industries release harmful chemicals into the air. These chemicals react with sunlight to form smog, a kind of air pollution. Chemicals formed from burning gasoline in vehicles can also form smog. Smog makes breathing difficult. Some chemicals in the air combine to form acids that dissolve in raindrops. This acid rain kills forest trees and creates dead lakes where fish cannot survive. Okay. Governments have tried to prevent acid rain by limiting the amount of toxic chemicals released into the air. They have had some success, but acid rain is still a problem. You may not have thought of space debris as pollution of the atmosphere, but it is. Disregarded and old satellite parts and burned out rocket stages orbit the Earth. It's like a bunch of trash just kind of floating out there, like right at the edge of the atmosphere in space. Okay, where are we here? The space garbage is dangerous because it may collide with working spacecraft. So if you have like an old rocket booster kind of floating around, there's a potential that that's going to bump into a new spacecraft that's flying out there, maybe the SpaceX missions. Okay. Industries affect the geosphere. Factories need raw materials, okay, things like rocks and dirt, things that we find in nature. These materials are often mined from the geosphere. Mining destroys landforms. It creates land, water, and air pollution. It leaves the soil contaminated with harmful chemicals. Okay. Factories also cause land pollution because they generate large amounts of waste and trash. Some are dumped illegally and others are added to landfills. Many places are running out of space for landfills. Garbage often contains toxic chemicals. Even newspaper ink can be harmful. These chemicals can seep into the soil and harm plants and animals. Okay? So a lot of different things. This picture here is of some smog. I have unfortunately been in parts of the world that it looks like this. This looks like Los Angeles though. Industries produce chemicals that can react with sunlight to form smog. This layer of smog over Los Angeles, California makes breathing difficult. Smog alerts are issued that warn people to stay indoors. When I lived in Korea, there was often text messages I would get from the government that said the smog levels are really bad today. If you can, stay inside or wear like a mask, kind of like what we're doing now with this COVID thing, but just for nasty, gross air. All right, your assignment today, ladies and gentlemen, says research one of these industries: nuclear power plant, coal power plant, toy factory, or electronics factory. So that means maybe go to Google and type in nuclear power plant. What is a nuclear power plant? And then if you want to make it more simple, adding 4 kids often gives you a more, I don't want to say watered down, but a more simple explanation of what it is. Okay, so use at least 1 print and 1 digital source. That part is kind of, 1 digital is fine. Write a paragraph on the effect it has on Earth systems. Include these terms: the atmosphere, biosphere, hydrosphere, and geosphere if you need to, and include quotes and cite your source. So this assignment, ladies and gentlemen, really wants you to like do a little bit of your own research, like typing in, how do nuclear power plants affect the environment for kids? That would be a good Google search. Or maybe, how does a toy factory get rid of its wastes? Things like that. So you might have to do a little research on your own. If you do use an external or another source, please put it down here in digital sources. Again, just use a little text box, and a text box here would be fine as well. Again, as always, any questions, send them to me on Canvas. I'll answer them. If you're having trouble, major issues, don't understand it at all, again, let me message me. We'll schedule a time to meet up, not in person, but on Skype or on Zoom. And I'll talk to you guys later. Have a good day.